Time now for Options Insight. I'm Abigail Doolittle. Joining me today is Scott Bauer of Prosper Trading Academy from the CBOE in Chicago. Great to have you with us as always, Scott. And these markets just really very interesting in terms of having had a few weeks of big losses, now a few weeks of big gains, all of this in the backdrop of the coronavirus tragedy. Overextended conditions. What do you think is next?
I think interesting is a perfect word. I mean, it's very tough to figure out. It's been a Teflon market, mostly because of the Fed, in my opinion. We have had some good earnings, but, the market seems to be shrugging off, almost getting, used to the news. And unless we really see a major change in the virus here, like something, God forbid, that maybe it really hits home here, I think this market keeps shrugging it off.
Yeah, it's amazing how it does seem to keep shrugging off because the implications at this point with so many companies withholding, withdrawing, lowering their outlooks for 2020, it seems as though the impact is already hitting and then there's so much unquantifiable. What are you seeing relative to volatility? The VIX up just slightly, but what about underneath the cover of the surface?
I mean, that's what I'm talking about. You would think that the VIX should be trading at least in the mid to high teens right now, not where it is right now. So that's what I'm talking about. The VIX is typically a leading indicator here. So, the market is really, I don't want to say Teflon market, but boy, oh boy, the Fed is in place right now and really taking command.
Lots of complacency for sure. Speaking of not complacent at all is your trade on Roku, which you are describing as a very high risk to reward.
It is. This thing can do anything on this report, honestly. So I'm looking at just what is the biggest bang for the buck I can get. So I'm looking at an upside butterfly spread, the 155, 165, 175 call butterfly. Cost me about 80 cents. This thing can go out to $10. No matter what happens on the report here, whether the stock goes to 100 or 200, the most I can lose is that 80 cents. And the reason I'm calibrating 165 as the center strike is because that's about what the market is expecting for a move for Roku after earnings, about $20 today.
Well, you've had some tremendous trading calls in the past, so we'll be keeping an eye on this Roku one. And thank you also for your commentary on the markets and the complacency and the Fed and what maybe next, possibly higher as it has been. Scott Bauer, Prosper Trading Academy, thank you for joining us for Options Insight. This is Bloomberg.